All right, we are live. Attention, all citizens. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir tout et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu, opening the weekly amateur radio exchange group, or also known as AREG, for Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. It is the longest running Simplex Net in the Hamilton area. This week is 1,611 times that AREG has been on the air weekly. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton. And this net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending around 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430 megahertz. And since this is a simplex net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else. So I also stream the net on YouTube. So people who tune in can hear stations that they cannot hear on their radio, hear how their audio sounds on the air, and see their signal strength as well as my station layout. Just type my call into the YouTube search box, again, VA3CJZ. And you can look for us live tonight or under the title AREG Week 1611. Finally, we ask that you please leave at least a 1 second delay between transmissions to allow others to break in. Are there any time sensitive or mobile stations? Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. May I now have check-ins? The net is open to anyone and everyone. Please come now.
VA3 AXJ.
Okay, Rick.
VA3 MCA.
VA3 IMW.
VE3 ZJC. Victor Alpha 3 Bravo Tango.
Okay, we're not hands-free tonight. We're using a different radio, but I've got 5 stations so far: AXJ, NCA, IMW, ZJC, and Bravo Tango. Anyone else? All right, let's start with that then. Victor Alpha 3, Alpha X-Ray Juliet. Rick, come on in.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck there. Yeah, I've got my kitty cat. Got him cleaned up and nails trimmed and shaved. He looks like a little rat. But yeah, he has some really bad knots on the back, and they couldn't get the knots out, so they give him the lion cut. And I'll tell you, it looks funny, but I don't know. He looks good though.
Oh, do you have one of those long-haired cats there, Rick?
No, he's medium hair, but yeah. Hey, he looks weird though. That's really funny.
Yeah, it reminds me of those hairless cats. Whenever you say, "Oh, the cat got a shave," I'm like, "Uh-oh." Have you ever seen those? The hairless ones?
No, I haven't. Never seen one. I've heard about them though, but I haven't come across any of them.
Yeah, I guess they bred them for people with allergies. I don't know. But they have them out there. I've seen them. Pretty scary looking thing. Like when you bathe your cat or your dog, they all of a sudden get skinny and they look completely different. But anyways, Rick, so everything going okay with you? Other than this heat and humidity there, we got one more day, they say. So that'll be like what, the whole week now? From Monday to Friday, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just had to go from here to Kingsway and back, and I never shut the air off in the truck at all. And normally I don't usually run it because of my back. So I got my needles yesterday, and the damn steroids haven't kicked in yet. So I'm waiting for that to start.
All right. Well, hopefully that takes effect soon, and you'll start feeling the relief. So, anyways, Rick, thanks for checking in. And do you have anything else before I carry on?
No, I'll be here. I'll be listening. I'll be probably around for a little bit. Back to you.
Okay, Rick, great signal as always. Good audio. You're 9 out of 9 bars. So S9 on this radio means full strength. So thank you, Rick. And let's move down to Wade. Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha. Wade, come on in.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA. Good evening, Chuck, and good evening, everybody on net. Yeah, I hope everything's okay with your Yaesu. Your other radio is doing great, though. I'm getting you a full signal S9 to my station tonight. Maybe the antenna, something like that, is sounding really good. But I'm having really good luck on 2 meters tonight. The noise floor is low. So I don't know, maybe whatever my local noise is on 2 meters, maybe they're taking a break for tonight. Whatever it is, I'm happy for it. So coming through nice and strong. I had the last day of work for me for a while. I've started my first 2 weeks of August vacation. So I took tomorrow, Friday, and then I return Monday the 19th. So I get a good, solid couple and a half weeks there. And my cycle challenge starts tomorrow, so I'll be trying to beat a bit of this crazy heat by getting out really early. So I'm planning to get out there on the road for sunup, just to sort of get the kilometers in before the heat sets in. So it all starts tomorrow. If anybody wants to follow my progress, you can look my name up on the Great Cycle Challenge.ca website. That's where all my rides will be recorded. So I'll carry my phone in GPS mode, and at the end of the rides, it transmits the route and the distance up to that site there. So I'm going to be on the bike for a few hours tomorrow, and we'll see how the heat treats me. Anyways, I'll be here for the duration of this as well, and thanks for doing it. I'll send it back to you there, Chuck.
Oh, very good there, Wade. By the way, I'm giving you about 80 watts tonight. This Yaesu does 80 watts, and I'm on full power for now. I'm going to turn it down in a little bit. Otherwise, she'll get hot if I keep it on high for the whole net. But in any case, yeah, you're doing good here. 7 out of 9 bars, and great signal, and that's pretty neat, eh? Your app, I guess, is it? Uploads your data from your bike ride.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to do it. The way I tend to do it is there's an app called Strava, and it's usually used for cyclists, but also runners, and a few other sports. But most of the people who use it are runners or cyclists. And so it will do a bunch of things. One of the basic things is it just tracks your ride for according to GPS and records it, and then you can interface it to the Great Cycle Challenge website. There are other ones too, but in this case, that's the challenge site. And so whenever I hit finalize ride, it'll upload automatically and show you a map of where I went. And then add to my total. I've got 1,650 kilometers to do in the month of August. So I hope the weather treats me well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, they're calling for some cooler cooler temperatures. I don't know how the humidity is going to be, but I can't wait for the heat to dial down just a wee bit, or the humidity. In any case, I don't mind heat when that heavy humidity comes, so it's difficult to breathe. Anyhow, Wade, thanks for coming in. Like I said, great signal from your location in Dundas, and yeah, thanks for checking in both on the YouTube stream as well as here on the radio. Do you have any announcements or anything you can think of? If not now, then maybe later.
Let's see. Maybe I'll have some for later on. I can't think of something offhand, but um, yeah, I know we have that thing coming up in September, the get together. We'll be posting it to the Discord channel, and I'm sure as we get closer, somebody who knows more of the details than I will announce it here and other places. So we got that to look forward to. Other than that, yeah, no, I'll be here for the duration for sure, and I'll let you pick up the folks lining up behind me. Thanks, Chuck. VA3NCA, back to you.
Okay, very good, Wade. By the way, I was just looking at the news today, and or was it last night? And they were showing the area at York there in Dundurn. I don't even know if you can get into the Dundurn Castle right now. It's that whole side, that whole road on that side is all closed off. So yeah, it's gonna be rough. Even to get to RBG, you still have to use uh, York Boulevard there. So I don't know. Has anybody driven down that area lately? Anyways, speaking of which, maybe Mac has. Let's go to VA3IMW. Mac, come on in.
Good evening, Chuck, and everybody on frequency. VA3IMW with you. Yeah, things to talk about. N1CC event in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Looking to determine whether we're going to be east side or west side of the city. So we'll be looking for some input, perhaps on the Friday ZOE RAG 2. And the September event. We're going to be out there starting fairly early on. I think we decided on the Sunday morning, and I think even with the single lane traffic, it's not going to be too bad at that time of day. I do know that part of town lights up like red during rush hour. So on your weekdays, in the last couple of weeks, I think I took that York Street cutoff off the 403 once, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was a big mistake. But yeah, nonetheless, I think on a Sunday morning at 9:30 in the morning, I think we'll do fine. And if not, well, we'll be patient, and everybody will get there sooner or later. Other than that, Chuck, not much else has changed. Still waiting for somebody to make our travel arrangements for the upcoming business trip to Mexico, which is no holiday.
Yeah.
It's the wrong side of the tracks. Usually, it's the industrial side. So that's August 12, 13, 14, and the week following that, I've booked off some vacation so I can spend some me time here with me and the missus and see what she wants to get done, and perhaps do some day trips. Other than that, sounds like you've been stocking on the frequent flyer miles between here and Barrie. You've got a girlfriend on the side up there?
Yeah, I wish. No, I don't. Yes. I had to go make another trip to Barrie. I bring the radio back to the doctor. And get this, to add insult to injury, we left nice and early. The traffic was nowhere near as bad as the first time we went up, which was a Monday. But we got through all the Toronto traffic and got on the 400. And halfway up the 400, they shut down the highway completely. So we had to get out and detour around farm country. Ended up coming back on the highway around Innisfil, and then we made it the rest of the way. Only to hand the radio over, and he said he was so busy, there's no way he could look at it. And I turned around, had a bite of a sandwich, and took off again. So it took me almost 6 hours, 5.5 hours exactly, for a door-to-door round trip, which is way longer than it should have been. It should have been more like 4 hours round trip. So that sucked. I think we're going to make arrangements to have the radio shipped back.
Yeah, QSL, and obviously the fuel and all the rest of the stuff kind of adds up. So maybe shipping is a little less expensive, but you could have made a day of it, taken a side trip up to Aurelia, had lunch on the water side. There's a nice little hot dog stand right out beside, what's the name of it? I was going to say Okeechobee, but that's completely the wrong direction.
Florida.
Lake Simcoe, oh my goodness gracious. Attached to Lake Simcoe is the other little lake that surrounds into Aurelia. Anyways, nonetheless, it's a great place up there. Sometimes when you are not in a big hurry, you can take advantage of these unfortunate traffic conditions and just make the best of it. Find a place to hunker down and have a good time. Obviously, you had a timetable to get up and back down again, but nonetheless, Chuck, when the patients get better and back home, you're going to be a smiling, happy man. Anyways, I'm here for the duration tonight, Chuck. Looking forward to an interruption-free net. No thunderstorms in the offing, so looks like things are starting off on the right foot. I'll let you go ahead and say hello to everybody else, and we'll look forward to the humor, the trivia, and the on this day. Certainly appreciate you running this net and being such a trooper at it. Back to you, Chuck, VA3 IMW.
Lake Couchiching.
Lake what, Wade?
I think, Mac, are you talking about Lake Couchiching?
That's the one. That's where the CH come from.
Yeah, I spent summers there at that YMCA campground right on Lake Couchiching. Yeah, a long time ago now, though, but it's a nice little area.
Yep, QSL. And part of my career as a professional bass fisherman, right there.
All right. Well, I don't think I've ever heard that lake name before, but very interesting. You know what? I couldn't believe how things like just smelled different. The air was nice when we were obviously out towards the shop there, and it's farm country, right? It's beautiful. It smelled nice. It was quiet. It was too bad we didn't spend more time there, but we dreaded coming back at night and the traffic. That's the only thing that held us back, was just dreading the drive home, stuck in traffic, bumper to bumper. I mean, speaking of which, on our way back, there was no closures, but once we got off the 400 and onto the other highways there to get home, it was pretty much bumper to bumper the whole way. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go the entire time. So, yeah. Next time we'll, maybe go up in that area and spend the day, but come back early in the morning or something. It's beautiful, though. Barrie is very nice. Okay, Mac, thanks again for checking in, sir. And if you hear Art, please let us know. And with that, we'll pick up Jason next. Victor Alpha 3, Zulu Juliet Charlie.
Victor Echo 3, Zulu. Alpha frequency. Coming to you from the HD in the backyard on 5 watts as tonight. Looking at some vines that are creeping over some wire antennas, so I have to address that this weekend. And lamenting one of my neighbors who decided to cut down a beautiful 100-plus-year-old tree that stood a good story and a half above all the houses and provided some much-needed privacy in the alleyway from other neighbors. Came home to a whole lot of noise and a whole big missing tree. So a little perturbed by that. Other than that, my friend, thanks for doing it. I will follow along on the HT, and if I can't get it on the HT, I will flip over to the YouTube and follow along there. Thanks for doing it, Chuck. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, very good there, Jason. It seems like someone wants to compete with the people that are not full strength over here. But Jason, you're 7 out of 9 bars, and of course, there's a little bit of uh, white noise coming in with you there, but fully readable. And like I said, 7 out of 9 bars is great. And some poor squirrel somewhere is probably crying, lost his home, and so that's too bad. Hopefully, they did it for a good reason. It's always sad to see them chopping down trees, for sure. All right, Jason, and I have corrected you in the log. It's Victor Echo 3 Zulu Juliet Charlie. My apologies, Jason. Anyhow, thanks for checking in, sir, and stay cool. We'll get you on the next round if you're around.
Roger, my friend. Thanks for doing it. And yeah, I will be around as much as I can.
Okay, very good then. So let's move over to Albert, Victor Alpha 3, Bravo Tango. I think I got that one right. Albert.
Yeah, you got it right there, Chuck. VA3BT here. Nothing to report on my end, just the general check-in as usual. Thought I'd give you a check-in in there. But yeah, other than that, I guess we're dealing with the hot weather out there. At work. We take frequent breaks, of course, as usual. But yeah, just dealing with the weather, and yeah. Next week they're shipping me out to Markham, so I'm not looking forward to that. But anyways, it is what it is. We'll hand it back over to you there, Chuck, VA3BT.
Oh, yeah. You're heading to Markham, you say? Well, that's a bit further away, right?
Yeah, it's a 401 in Markham Road, so it's up by Markham area there. Just for 2 weeks, I'm just filling in for a guy there. He's on vacation, but yeah. Hey, yeah, man, that sucks about your radio. Hopefully, Ron will get her all fixed up for you, and that's it, right? Have you actually got a hold of him, or you haven't got any word on it?
Yeah, no, I dropped it off Monday morning. Well, yeah, Monday morning, and haven't heard anything from him since. He did mention he was busy, so yep, he'll get to it.
Yeah, you just gotta be patient. He'll get around to it, and hopefully not rush into it, right?
Yeah. Either he overlooked something or something that he replaced blew out. Who knows? But I think the first time he worked on it, he said he spent 6 hours on it. So I think he wants to make sure he has plenty of time to check it out and not have it come back again. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what he says. Anyhow, Albert, thanks again for checking in, sir. Of course, you are full strength over here by the Center Mall, and I appreciate your check-in, Albert.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be listening along here. I think I'll stay up through the whole net here, so we'll let you continue along there.
Okay, very good. Well, hopefully this radio, I'm using the same antenna that I would have used on the other radio, so there's no issue there. And this radio gives me full power, so I should be heard no problem. And with that, let me switch over to the other side here, and we'll get some full power going for another call. This is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu with the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Looking for check-ins. Please come now.
Victor Echo 3 Golf Bravo Delta.
All right, very good then. So we've got George, VE3, Golf Bravo Delta. George, I understand you threw out your back or something. Come on in.
Yes, sir. I usually do. Probably once every couple of months. I just overdo things that I do around the house, and my back went out, and it's starting to feel good now. So, no, it's all good.
Atta boy. Yeah. Well, it's something you're familiar with, so you just got to know when to take it easy and uh, not strain yourself. Same with me. When I know there's something that's going to be tough on my back, I take it easy, and there's no rush. You'll get it done when you get it done.
Well, that's my problem, right? I just give her, just go, go, go. I know my back is starting to hurt. My wife says, okay, you should relax. And when I'm in that mojo, I don't want to relax.
I know, George. I'm the same way. Give her and pay the consequences later. But except for shoveling snow, though, I have gotten smarter. I'll take, I'll do a portion, take a break, come back later, do some more, or finish it off. But yeah, snow removal is a cause of a lot of people's heart attacks. So I don't want to. I don't want to leave just yet. I want to be around for a little bit longer. Anyhow, George, what's the word on the trailer there? Is that in your future?
Oh, yeah, me and the wife were heading up Friday. We just had a whole lot of birthdays this week. It was unbelievable. So, yeah, me and the wife, yep, we're heading up Friday. We're going to be there, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and then come home for a couple of days, go back up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, the heat and humidity is going to be with us one more day, and then I guess starting tomorrow evening should start cooling down, and it won't be so crazy for. We'll get a few days anyways, but they're calling for possibility of storms. Of course, when we get this high humidity for a while there, that usually means we're going to get. Once we start getting the high winds coming through, that means something's coming. Which that reminds me, I'm going to mention something about on this day there that just reminded me there, George. So yeah, very good. Well, thanks for checking in, buddy. Are you going to take off or are you going to stick around?
No, I'm going to stick around. I got garbage to doing that, but you know what? That can be done later.
Oh, you got that right. I was surprised last night. It started to cool down quite a bit there after the sun went down. I think it went down to 20 or something like that before midnight. So that was nice. But the humidity, of course, is still there. Anyways, George, thanks a bunch for checking in, sir. I do appreciate it. And we'll talk to you in a bit, sir. Take her easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So, with that, let's go to the YouTube page and say hello to, Wade already checked in, but he's on the YouTube stream, VA3NCA, as well as VE3KKP, Kevin. He said he's not near radio at the moment, but that's fine. He's in the log. And then we have Wayne B from Mississauga, Victor Alpha 3, Fox Mike Bravo. Good evening, Wayne. Hope you're staying cool, my friend, as well as Jeff. Jeff, the sushi chef? No. VE3 November Victor Yankee from Vineland. Howdy, Jeff. I hope everything is well with you. Staying cool, I hope. And so, with that, let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Hey, Reg, please come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, let's go and see what kind of announcements we have here. We do have contests to mention coming up this weekend. I probably won't be able to participate, but nonetheless, let's see what's going on. We've got the 1010 International Summer Contest for sideband. That's a big one, and that's for 10 meters only. And um, yeah, that begins at 0001 Zulu, August 3rd. That's a weird one. 1 minute after 0 Zulu time on August 3rd, and ends at 23:59 August 4th. So it's a 2-day event. And before that, I forgot to mention we have an FT8 contest, the Batavia FT8 contest for all you digital folks out there. That's 0 Zulu time, August 3rd to 23:59 Zulu, August 4th. And next, we've got the European HF Championship for sideband and CW, and that's for 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Starts at 1200 Zulu, August 3rd, and ends at 23:59 Zulu, August 3rd. So it's a 12-hour event. Next, we've got the WAB 144 megahertz low power phone. It says here, and that's for 2 meters only. So 2-meter contest starting at 1400 Zulu, August 3rd, ending at 1800 Zulu, August 3rd. So that's only a 4-hour net or contest, I should say. Pardon me. And then finally, we have the North American QSO party for CW. And the bands are 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Starts at 1800 Zulu, August 3rd, going until 5:59 Zulu, August 4th. And for those of you who have 222 megahertz, we have the ARRL 222 megahertz and up distance contest. So that begins 1800 Zulu, August 3rd, until 1800 Zulu, August 4th. Yeah, for any more, there's another short one. There's a HEMUS, HEMUS, VHF contest, and that's for 2 meters only for CW, sideband, and FM. So if you want any more information, you want to check out the rules or what have you for the contest, just open up your web browser and type in contestcalendar.com, and you get whatever information you'd like there. I usually open up the 8-day view of the contests coming up. So does anyone else have any announcement they'd like to make? Please come forward. All right. With that, let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3CJZ. My name is Chuck, and I'm here in East Hamilton. Anyone, anywhere. All right. Well, I do have one announcement I'd like to make, and that's in 6 weeks' time from tonight, we will be at AREG week 1617. And that means it will be 31 years that the AREG has been on the air once a week. So mark that on your calendars. September 18th, I believe, is the date. And that will be our 31-year anniversary. I hope to hear from you, all of you, and many more to drop in and say hello. Again, 31 years will be on September 18th. Okay, that's it for that announcement. Oh, yeah, before we get to the trivia and on this day, I'd like to make a special on this day announcement. Um, 37 years ago today, today is the anniversary, 37-year anniversary of the EF4 tornado in Edmonton, Alberta, in which I was there and I was in it. Not inside, of course, but I was in the area it went through. I was working in the carnival back in those days. I was a ride foreman for the skydiver ride. And once we saw the storm coming in, I had to tie that down. Now, the skydiver ride is basically like a Ferris wheel, but with an enclosed, caged seating area. And there's a little steel wheel inside, and you can steer the car left or right as it goes around. That's the skydiver. And I was foreman of that ride, and we had to tie one side off um, to a forklift, a tow motor, and the other side was tied off to a transport truck. And then we empty the ride, and then we turn it on full power and walk away. Because if you make the wheels spin, uh, it will keep it from being blown over on its side. And so we did that, and thankfully the damage to the carnival was minimal. Of course, we had some tents that were ripped open, um, a little bit of damage to the merry-go-round, and so on. But everybody was safe, and that's the main thing. Anyhow, that was 1987 on this day. I'm sure I will be mentioning that again when I do on this day, because uh, I've got it written down there, anyways. But I just thought I'd mention the fact that I was there, and it was pretty crazy, wild stuff. I don't know if you've ever been in a tornado type situation there, but it's pretty crazy. All right, with that, let's see if anyone else out there listening would like to check in with us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu. All right, I guess it's going to be a slow night. We might end up uh, going a little earlier than normal, but so far we've got 8 check-ins. That includes the ones that checked in on YouTube. 9. Sorry, I forgot to put VE3NVY in there, so we'll add him there now. Okay. Any other comments there? No more comments on YouTube. All right, very good then. So I guess we'll go and start up some of that trivia and see if that passes a little bit of time there. Okay, I don't have the trivia page that I was looking for. If you'll Bear with me there. I'll get right on that. Oh, I almost forgot. I have some of them on a web page here. All right, we've all heard of King Henry VIII. He used to behead his ex-wives. Well, another fun fact about Henry VIII, he knighted all four of his grooms of the stool, as they were called, the people in charge of wiping his butt for him. He made them all knights, and he had four of them. I wonder if one of them was called Sir John Crapper. All right, another little trivia fact. Before the invention of modern false teeth, dentures were commonly made from the teeth of dead soldiers. Ooh, creepy. Another fun fact now about Egypt. In ancient Egypt, servants were smeared with honey so flies would flock to them instead of the pharaoh. Speaking of honey, did you know that there's a type of honey that gets you high? I forget what part of the world it is, but I saw a documentary on that where these guys climb up really, really high to get these honeycombs, and it's dangerous. It's super dangerous, and apparently you got to be careful how much of that you take. They showed one guy; he was feeling it. Yeah, honey, honey that gets you high. Interesting. All right, another probably little known fact, Abraham Lincoln was a champion wrestler and a licensed bartender. And staying with booze, George Washington owned a whiskey distillery. I didn't know that. Another not so fun fact, it says here more than 2% of the American population was killed during the Civil War. All right, here's our audience participation time. Uh, does anyone know who the first president to live in the White House was? And that would be none other than John Adams, the guy who owned a brewery, I do believe. Next, we go to Italy. Contrary to popular belief, the Leaning Tower of Pisa never stood up straight. So there you go. It was built that way on purpose. And this one's a little weird. I didn't know this. Many Vikings would dye their hair blonde, even their beards, because they viewed it as the best color. I think a lot of them were red haired. All right. I wonder who knew about this next one. Cleopatra was Greek with Macedonian ancestry, not Egyptian. All right, I've heard this next one before. Guess what the ancient Romans used to use for mouthwash? The ancient Romans used stale urine as mouthwash. All right. Now, I don't know how this happened, but apparently the longest year in human history is the year 46 BC, clocking in at 445 days long. I'm sure they used a different calendar system. How about this next one? Who knows about the shortest war in history? No one? Okay, the shortest war in history, which was between Britain and Zanzibar, I don't know where that is, lasted 38 minutes. They probably saw the British and said, okay, we give. Uh, okay, now this is pretty scary. Galloping crocodiles inhabited the Sahara Desert 100 million years ago. That's some pretty agile crocodiles, if you ask me. All right, the 1883 Krakatoa volcano eruption produced such a loud sound that it ruptured people's eardrums up to 40 miles away. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard of this, but during World War I and II, they used to build fake tanks and military things to throw off their German counterparts. Well, during World War I, the French built a fake Paris to throw off German bombers. All right, who remembers seeing a picture of Theodore Roosevelt riding a moose? I've seen that. Well, apparently Theodore Roosevelt's kids had a pet bear, a pet badger, and a hyena, to name but a few animals. And they brought them all to the White House. Huh, interesting. All right, two more. Does anyone know about how many hieroglyph symbols there are? You know, like we have 26 letters of the alphabet. Well, apparently there are over 700 ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic symbols. That's quite a bit. Mind you, yeah, they had pictures. All right, last one. While the Wright brothers are famous as a pair, they actually only flew together once. They promised their father they'd always fly separately. I'm guessing it's because if they crashed, only one of them would perish. That's my guess. Anyways, that's it for this part of the trivia. Do we have any questions or comments or anybody that would like to check into this week's AREG Net? Please come now. All right. Well, since there's such a short list, let's go back up to the top and say hello to Rick, VA3AXJ. Rick, anything to add?
Not really, Chuck. I'm just here listening away and enjoying the net like I always do on Wednesday night. Nothing else to do on a Wednesday night but turn on the radio, listen to Chuckle. Yeah, that's about it for me. I'll be here for the duration, probably.
All right, very good. Well, doing a second round here kind of gives me a moment to grab a few gulps of coffee to coat my throat because now I understand why radio DJs only work 4-hour shifts. Mind you, they play music and commercials for most of the time, but talking for long periods does take its toll. Very good, Rick. Well, thank you for listening along. Well, let's see who is next. That would be Wade. Let's see if he remembers anything he wanted to add. Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha.
BA3 CJZ, BA3 NCA. You know what? I think that Mac had me covered. It was about the talk about an N1CC attempt that we were kicking around, and so yeah, that's coming up. We're gonna try and get out there and activate as many bands as we can from parks in the Hamilton area. So looking forward to that. Should happen over the next couple of weeks. Also, maybe I'll say we got welcome Shane and Steel City Coach there in the chat who've shown up, and they've mentioned that they've been listening along and interested in getting licensed. We have resources to help you out. You can Google the Canadian government website, Canadian Amateur Radio Exams, and that will bring you to a site that'll give you all of the question pool questions that you can study ahead of time, and you can also go through practice tests from actual questions so you can prepare. And then within earshot around here, including myself, there's some AEs, amateur examiners here in the local area who can even get you an exam and get you all certified. So I know the Hamilton Club has one, has an AE. The Burlington one does, and for the Lake Ontario Radio Club, which is the other local club around here, that would be me. So anybody who's interested, reach out and we'll get you set up. Other than that, I'll send it back to you there, Chuck, via Transia.
All right, Wade. Well, thank you so much for letting me know about these gentlemen that I just missed them on the YouTube stream there. But hello, Mark. That's Steve's friend, VA3 November Foxtrot Golf. I'm not sure if Steve's working or not, but we'll let him know that you checked in there, Mark. Thanks for checking in. And Shane is a new subscriber. Welcome, Shane. We're here every Wednesday between 8 and 10 on YouTube. And you're looking to get your first handheld radio. Well, I would suggest that you probably look into going on the Chinese, popular Chinese online store and getting a UVK6. Quanchang is the name of the radio, a Quanchang UVK6. Now you can Google that, and for I think around $30, you can get yourself a nice little radio. And Steel City Coach got the mouthwash answer correctly. He just put in urine in there. That is correct, Coach. Very good. And Shane, for studying to get a license, all you got to do is go to Google and type in amateur radio practice exam. And the very first thing at the top of the list, you click on that and it'll bring you to an online exam generator, and it's free, doesn't cost anything. You can do it over and over and over again, test your skill and your knowledge, mostly knowledge, not skill, and that will get you going, get you prepared to take the test. as well, Shane. A coworker has offered a Bofang to sell you. Unless he wants to sell it to you for $5, I would probably pass. Get yourself a new radio. That way, you know everything works. It hasn't been dropped on the floor a dozen times, and so on and so forth. You know, and like I said, for $30, I mean, a brand new radio, you can't go wrong. And thank you, Wade, for all that information. And yeah, any other questions there? Please feel free to ask them in the YouTube chat. Thanks for joining us and participating. Are there any new check-ins for tonight's AREG Net? This is VA3CJZ. All right, nothing heard. So where do we go to now? It's 8:56 p.m. It just went under 30 degrees over here at my location in East Hamilton. Uh, yeah, I can do that there. I just see Shane asking a question, and just hang on. I'll put that in there now. And Wade, what's the yeah, I just put up Wade just put up the Quansheng UVK5 uh, number 8 in parenthesis. Either one of those or the UVK6. They're both the same radios. Wade, what's the name of that Chinese store? I can't think of it right now.
AliExpress.
Yeah, I was thinking of Alibaba. Close. Thanks, Mac. AliExpress. There you go. All right. Anyone else have any questions or comments uh, um, or check-ins for tonight's AREG Net? Please come now. All right, we're just going to switch over here, and then we're going to go to on this day. All right, today is on this day 179, and we always start off with famous birthdays. And tonight it's famous birthdays on July 31st. And on this day in 1867, Sebastian S. Kresge, American merchant and philanthropist who started Kmart as well as the Kresge stores, was born on this day and in Bald Mountain, Pennsylvania. And Mr. Kresge passed away in 1966. That would make him 99 years old. I guess you can live long if you got lots of money. All right, we go to 1886, and born on this day is Fred Quimby, American film producer, and he produced Tom and Jerry, the cartoons. Born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he died in 1965. Not quite as old as Mr. Kresge. Born today in 1913, Brian Hextall, Canadian Hockey Hall of Fame right wing. Won the Stanley Cup in 1940 with the New York Rangers. Three-time NHL first-team All-Star. Born in Grenfell, Saskatchewan. And he passed away in 1984. Ted Cassidy was born on this day in 1932. He's an American actor, and you might recall him as being Lurch on The Addams Family. He passed away in 1979. He was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I know they never gave him a lot of words to say in that series. He's always grunting. Ugh. All right, next we've got the bassist for Herman's Hermits. Born on this day in 1947, Carl Green. English rock bassist for the Hermits. You might remember the song Mrs. Brown, You Have a Lovely Daughter. Born in Salford, England. All right, going back to hockey. Born on this day in 1960, Dale Hunter, or should I say Dale Hunter, Canadian NHL center, coach, owner of the Quebec Nordiques, Washington Capitals, and the London Knights in the OHL. Born in Petrolia, Ontario, Dale Hunter. That would make him 64 years old today. And turning 61 today is Wesley Snipes. I just saw him in the new Deadpool movie. He does a cameo. That's all I'm going to say. Born on this day, 1962. American actor who went to jail, I think, for tax evasion. He was in many movies. Passenger 57, Money Train, the Blade trilogy, and other movies. I think he was in one of the... I can't think of it now. It'll come to me. Anyways, he was born in Orlando, Florida. J.K. Rowling is 58 years old today. She was born in 1965, and she's an English writer and novelist, writing the Harry Potter series, among other things. And she was born in Gloucestershire. Dean Cain was born on this day, 1966. Dean Cain is an American actor. He played Clark and Superman in the series Lois and Clark. I think he was also on Ripley's Believe It or Not or something like that. He was born in Michigan. And finally, my last famous person born on this day in 1992 is Kyle Larson, an American auto racer with NASCAR. He actually won the NASCAR Cup Series championship in 2021, and also the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2015. He was born in Elk Grove, California. All right, that's my last entry for birthdays. Next, we'll move on to famous deaths on July 31st. And we start off by a person by the name of Aurelia Cota, Cotta. Never heard of her, but she died in 54 BC, and she's also the mother of Julius Caesar. She was 66 years old. I never knew Caesar had a mother. All right, next we've got Charles E. Hires, Hires, passing away in 1937 on this day. He was an American pharmacist, inventor, and manufacturer of the Hires root beer beverage. Dies at the age of 85. Wasn't the inventor of Coca Cola also a pharmacist? Anyone?
That's where he got his cocaine from.
Yeah. Well, they're pharmacists. They could probably make their own.
Yeah, yeah. And rather than caffeine, Coca-Cola was named such because it was originally manufactured with an amount of cocaine in it.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right. I forget what year it was that they banned it or whatever happened, but they stopped putting it in quite a few years later. I remember seeing a meme on Facebook about that. Something about saying that a little kid telling her mother, "Grandma says that uh, you're slow at cleaning the house or whatever, something along that line." And then mommy uh, tells the little girl, "Well, dear, that's because Grandma was hopped up on coke." Because of the Coca Cola, right? Anyways. All right, next passing away on this day in 2015 is Rowdy Roddy Piper. Did you know that Roddy was a Canadian pro wrestler with WWF International Heavyweight Championship in 1992, World Tag Team Championship with Ric Flair in 2006, and he dies from cardiopulmonary arrest caused by hypertension at the age of 61. Yeah, a lot of people forget there are many celebrities out there that are Canadian, but people just don't. They forget or they don't realize it because a lot of them do move to the U.S., to Hollywood or L.A. or what have you. But yeah, there are many Canadians. All right, well that wraps up famous people passing away on this day. Do we have any questions or comments or check-ins for this week's AREG Net? Please come now.
This is Alpha Delta 2 India Bravo B3 Samuel.
Okay, you're a little choppy there. I'm going to have to open up my squelch a bit more. Can you please come again with your call sign?
Alpha Delta 2 India Bravo stroke B3.
All right, Alpha Delta 2, India Bravo, stroke VE3. I believe you said your name was Samuel.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, very good, Samuel. My name is Chuck, and I'm located in East Hamilton. Are you mobile? What's your location?
Yeah, I think I'm east of 401. Yeah, right by the lake.
Wow. I think if you were stationary, though, I'd probably be able to pick you up a little bit better. But let me see if we can get someone that's a little bit higher up, maybe on the escarpment, that could relay their everything you said. Mac, are you still there?
Yep, QSL got a good copy on Samuel. He said he believes he's on the QEW somewhere near the lake. So I'm going to estimate that he's somewhere down between Stony Creek and out towards Grimsby. I don't think he's on the north side of the lake. I'm thinking he's south side. Anyway, Samuel, good to hear you. Welcome to Ontario. And what brings you up here in this time of the year?
I am on the south side of the northwest of St. Catharines. And yeah, we're on a road trip passing through Canada. We've been going around the United States, and we're coming east from we went through Wisconsin and Michigan and
Okay, QSL, very good. Okay, so he's eastbound. They're just cutting through our fine province, and they've just come back from Wisconsin. They're taking a slice through Ontario and headed back to their home area in upstate New York. Very good. Thanks for checking in with us tonight, Samuel. Chuck, did you have any other questions that you want for Samuel or any other traffic form?
Yeah, I just upped my power a little bit there. I do believe Sam could hear me a little bit better now. And I just want to say, well, thank you so much for checking in, Samuel. It's a pleasure having a fresh new amateur radio dropping in to say hello. I want you to have a safe trip through our beautiful province and country. And it's a pleasure making contact. Enjoy the rest of your trip. All right, very good, Samuel. Thank you so much. And thank you to VA3IMW for the relay. Thank you, Mac. Much appreciated, sir. Okay, with that, do we have any other check-ins for this evening's AREG Net? That's the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu. And we're also streaming the net on YouTube. For those who can't hear all the stations, you can go to YouTube, put in my call in the search box, VA3CJZ, and you can follow along and listen along and chat into the, if you want to chat, by all means. Again, VA3CJZ, and we're looking for check-ins. Please come now. Okay. Did you catch whereabouts he was, Mac?
He said northwest of St. Catharines.
Okay. Yeah, still, wow, that's a good trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Clear shot from here. And yeah, it should be a fairly decent reception from your location as well.
Yeah. The signal wasn't very strong, but like I mentioned, when you're mobile, your antenna's bouncing around, and I was only able to pick up 50% of what he was saying. So thank you again for relaying the rest there. I did catch most of it, but yeah, if he would have been stationary, I probably would have been able to pick him up no problems. All right, anyone else out there wishing to check in with us, please come now. All right, nothing heard. So we're finished with the people passing away on this day. Let's go to historical events on July 31st. And we'll start off with the year 30 BC. We have the Battle of Alexandria. And that's important because Mark Antony achieves a minor victory over Octavian. If you know any Egyptian history, you'll know who these people are. But most of his army subsequently deserts, leading to Octavian's invasion of Egypt. And mind you, saying the word Mark Antony also brings in Cleopatra, because she made Mark Antony leave his wife for her, and all hell broke loose. So it's all during that time of Cleopatra and uh, the struggle to maintain power in Egypt. Next, we get a little bit further ahead. We go to the year 781. And that is the year 781 is the oldest recorded eruption of Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji, of course, is in Japan. So the year 781 is the oldest recorded eruption of Mount Fuji. I don't know how many times it erupted, but nonetheless. Next, we go back to a little bit more history. Columbus discovers Trinidad. In 1498, Christopher Columbus is the first European to discover the island of Trinidad on his third voyage. Now, in actual fact, Columbus did not discover North America, but he was the first European to sight the Bahamas archipelago. Oh, I can't even say it. And then the island later named Hispaniola, which is now split into Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And also, a Genoese navigator and explorer, Giovanni Caboto, known in English as John Cabot, is credited with the discovery of continental North America.
Archipelago.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
It was.
Yeah, I know. Just one of those things. Thanks, Mac. So yeah, John Cabot is credited with the discovery of the continental North America on June 24th, 1497, under the commission of Henry VII of England. So there's your history, folks. Christopher Columbus only discovered the Bahamas. All right, moving up to the year 1790. The first U.S. patent is granted to Samuel Hopkins for a potash process. 1790. 2 years later, in 1792, the cornerstone is laid for the first U.S. government building. The cornerstone is usually the first stone of the building, and it's usually a corner. Hence, cornerstone is laid for the first U.S. government building, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. First U.S. government building. I wonder where Sam the Cannon Man is. He would probably know this. In 1849, American engraver Benjamin Chambers patents the breech loading cannon. Now, most cannons at the time were loaded through the barrel at the end, but he patents the breech loading cannon, which is at the other end. All right, next we've got the first surgery under kerosene lamp. In 1853, We have the first nighttime surgery performed at Lychakiv Hospital in Ukraine, which is now Lviv, Ukraine, using new kerosene oil lamps invented by Ignacy Lukasiewicz. I know I'm not saying that right, but yeah, that's when the first kerosene lamps were invented. All right, in 1855, Stockholm experiences its hottest July since at least the year 1756, with an average temperature of 21.4 Celsius. Today, I looked it up. Today, the average temperature in Stockholm, Sweden is 24 degrees. They also have, I think, like 6 months of days, steady days, and 6 months of steady nights, or something crazy like that. That's in Sweden. All right, a little bit of telecommunication news. In 1879, the first cable connection between South Africa and Europe is laid by the British electrical engineer Charles Tilston Bright as part of his project to link the British Empire with growing telecommunications technologies. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen those big cables that they have on the back of these big ships out in the ocean, but that's how they connected a lot of phone lines. All right, next we go to the year 1912. The United States government prohibits movies and photos of prize fights. Interesting. There were no cell phones back then, so it was quite obvious if you were taking a picture with those flashbulb cameras.
VE3 LBI.
VE3 LBI, Larry. Come on in. How you doing?
Doing okay, Chuck. I don't want to interrupt. I just want to give you a quick check-in there, and I'll listen along.
Okay, Larry, you're in the log, sir. Thank you so much for checking in. All right. Where were we? Okay. Today is another famous date in history. Apparently, in 1917, we have World War I. We have the Battle of Passchendaele. And it's also called the Third Battle of Ypres, Ypres, Ypres. Mac, how do you say that? Yeah, I know in French it's called Ypres. Ypres. Anyways, that's when the Third Battle of Ypres begins. Goes on to cause approximately 500,000 casualties. 500,000 people are injured or killed. And that's just for that battle. All right, on to some more positive news. In 1922, 18-year-old Ralph Samuelson rides the world's first water skis in Minnesota. I wonder if they just used cross-country skis and just strapped the guy in. There you go. I'd be curious to see what they looked like. All right, next we go to the year 1925 and the Unemployment Insurance Act. The Unemployment Insurance Act is passed in Britain. 1925. All right, let's go to 1941 now. World War II. Sorry, U-boats sink and damage 21 Allied ships this month alone, and they write down 80,000 tons. I guess that was supplies. And of course, I've always got something to say about the Jewish people. On this day in history, there's always something going on. In 1942, the German SS gas 1,000 Jews in Minsk, Belarus. All right, now we all know it's the Olympics. I don't know how many of you have been watching. I actually watched the game today of the women's soccer from Canada. Beat out Colombia. It was a good game. I really enjoyed it. Watched a little bit of um, men and women's gymnastics as well. But this next story is from the 1948. Uh, uh, I guess it's the Olympics. It says here American sprinter Harrison Dillard, Dillard, runs an Olympic record 10.3 seconds to beat countryman Barney Ewell for the 100-meter gold medal at the London Olympics. Yeah, so I was right. And in 1958, we have the anti-Chinese uprising in Tibet. Just like Russia is trying to take Ukraine, China was trying to take Tibet, a sovereign nation, for their own. And it's been going on ever since. Next, the year is 1960. Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam, calls for a black state. Now, this is interesting. He promoted black self sufficiency and self reliance over integration. And he encouraged African Americans to return to their African homeland. We all know that never happened. And Muhammad also rejected the civil rights movement for its emphasis on integration. He was totally against integration, instead, promoting a separate black community. And in 1961, Israel welcomes its 1 millionth immigrant. It says here by 1961, that number exceeded 1 million. The immigrants to Israel at this time were primarily refugees from Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. This was a rapid, huge, and diverse wave of migration that inalterably shaped the character of the young country. Next, we have some space news. In 1964, the United States or the U.S. Ranger 7 takes 4,316 pictures before crashing on the moon. Ranger 7 was the first space probe of the United States to successfully transmit close images of the lunar surface back to Earth. It was also the first completely successful flight of the Ranger program. All right, and in 1965, cigarette advertising is banned. I think I missed here. It's supposed to say, I think it's in Britain. Anyways, 1965, the first cigarette advertising ban. Next, in 1967, we got the Rolling Stones leave jail. Rolling Stones singer Mick Jagger and guitarist Keith Richards are released from jail in England after serving 1 month on drug charges. Oh, I never knew they did time. Like that famous song, Time is on my hands. Something like that. That's a Stone song. All right, in 1969, Mariner 6 makes its closest approach to planet Mars at 3,410 kilometers away. And in 1971, the U.S. put the first EV car on the moon. Apollo 15 astronauts take a 6.5 hour electric car ride on the moon because I don't think a combustible engine would have worked. All right, we go to 1972, Operation Motorman. The British Army used 12,000 soldiers supported by tanks and bulldozers to retake the no-go areas controlled by the Provisional Irish Republican Army. In 1972, I was quite young, so I did hear about the IRA, but never this story. Interesting. 1980, Hurricane Allen forms in the Atlantic Ocean, will go on to become the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin, with winds up to 190 miles per hour or 305 kilometers an hour. All right, who remembers the Mamas and the Papas? In 1980, John Phillips, lead singer of the Mamas and the Papas, is arrested on drug charges. 1980. Remember when I mentioned the hottest temperature in Sweden? Well, in 1983, the Dutch July average temperature is 20.1 degrees Celsius. That's roughly 68 Fahrenheit. And that was the warmest July since 1852. During the daytime, temperatures can reach highs of 22 Celsius or 72 Fahrenheit, or even higher on some days. However, there can also be cooler days with temperatures around 17 Celsius or 63 Fahrenheit. Yeah, but I think lately they've gotten a lot warmer in Holland. So this was for Holland. All right, here we are. This is what I mentioned earlier about the tornado I was in 1987. On this day, July 31st, a rare Class F4 tornado rips through Edmonton, Alberta, killing 27 people and causing $330 million in damage. As I mentioned earlier, I was traveling with the carnival and I was a ride foreman, and we survived it. Okay, and in 1993, the Toronto Blue Jays obtained future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Ricky Henderson from Oakland in exchange for minor leaguers Steve Carsey and Jose Herrera. I think that's a good deal. Ricky Henderson. That's a good trade. All right, in 1995, now Walt Disney announces the acquisition of Capital Cities slash ABC for $19 billion. That's with a B. Network of properties now consist of Disney, ABC Sports, ESPN, and ESPN2, and they now own Marvel Entertainment Company as well as Fox. Wow, Disney, eh? Buying everything up. And in 2002, Polaroid Corporation has purchased by a company called One Equity Partners, continuing to operate under the Polaroid Corporation name. And in 2006, Fidel Castro temporarily hands over power to brother Raul Castro, leading to a celebration in Little Havana. That's in Miami, Florida, Little Havana, where many Cuban Americans participated. They were happy to have Fidel out of there. I don't think he ever took power after that. All right, going back to the Olympics. In 2012, Michael Phelps becomes the greatest medal winner in Olympic history as part of the winning American 4x200-meter freestyle relay team in London. Phelps' 19th career Olympic medal and 15th overall gold medal. That's crazy. I think there's another swimmer or diver that's gotten a lot of medals too. I forget his name now. All right, so in 2018, actor Alan Alda, you remember him from MASH, reveals he has had Parkinson's disease for 3 years. In an interview with CBS's This Morning, he reveals how physically acting out your dreams can be an early symptom. In 2018, Facebook discloses and removes Russian-linked network of sites attempting to interfere in American politics. All right, we're almost done. Next, we have Rihanna's Vogue cover. In 2018, Rihanna becomes the first Black woman to appear on the cover of the British magazine Vogue's September issue. And in 2019, American officials announced Osama bin Laden's son, Hamza bin Laden, and potential successor, has been killed in U.S. airstrikes in Pakistan. And recently, I just heard they killed the leader of Hamas in Lebanon last couple of days with an airstrike. So in 2019 now, Russian President Vladimir Putin orders the Russian army to help put out huge wildfires in Siberia, covering 3 million hectares. If you want a comparison, that's 7.4 million acres. So think of an acre as a football field, 7.4 million of those. After 700,000 people sign a petition, he orders that. Now, I've just been reading also that Kim Jong-un has ordered the military to help with the flooding that they've had in North Korea. They showed him driving with the water up to the car door and him sticking his head out of his car. Kim Jong-un. All right, finally, 2 years ago in 2022, Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri, who helped plan 9/11, is killed in a CIA drone strike in Kabul, Afghanistan. U.S. President Joe Biden calls it the group's biggest blow since Osama bin Laden was killed. And that's it for On This Day in History. I hope you all enjoyed listening to it as much as I did researching it and telling it back to you folks. Now, with that, do we have any questions or comments or anyone who would like to check in to our weekly AREG net? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ.
VA3IMW comment.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, Chuck, I just got to say it's totally cool that you were actually utilizing the gyroscopic effect on such a large piece of machinery to keep it upright in a windstorm. Having a Ferris wheel running at full steam. I've seen many displays of having things like bicycle wheels or things of that nature where the wheel has been spun and they suspend it by one side of the axle, and the gyroscopic effect itself keeps it upright without being suspended on both sides of the axle. Very cool application of physics. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely there, Mac. I tell you, it was quite the scary situation. We didn't want to lose $1 million piece of equipment, so we took the best techniques that have worked for us in the past, and you keep the wheel spinning, and there's less chance of it blowing over. Not only was it spinning at full speed, but it was also tied off to a tow motor on one side and a tractor trailer on the other, just to be safe. Give it a little bit of help there. So, but yeah, thanks. I do have some fond memories of working in the carnival business for almost a decade there in the 80s. Some really good times. Many not so good times. Things don't go as planned. You've heard the term "the show must go on." Um, so a lot of situations come up, and you have to be able to deal with it accordingly. It's similar to being in the military. You're a very close knit family. You all travel together, you work together, you party together. Some of us sleep together. Um, but you get what I mean. You know, we're a self sufficient company, had our own power, our own generators, uh, our own cookhouse, you name it. So it was a lot of fun. I take the good with the bad. It was worth it.
Yeah, as with any close-knit family, there's always some conflicts and other things they have to deal with it. It's part of that, part of the nature of the beast. But obviously, as you look back on it, seems like it was a fairly positive situation overall.
Yeah, if I ever decide to write my memoirs one day, I've got a boatload of stories to tell. I'll give you another quick one. In the 80s, there were a lot of riots down in Florida, mainly between the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans. And we were playing a fair at the Miami-Dade County Youth Fair, and a riot broke out because the rap group that was there kept singing songs about raping white women and killing cops. And so the fairgrounds people decided to pull the plug on them because they wouldn't listen and not sing those type of songs. And so a riot broke out. And one of the guys that I had working for me, a local guy from Miami, brought a gun in to my ride the next day. I had another ride. I had the swings. And he brought it in his shaving kit. And I said, "Oh, can I see that?" And so I took it from him and I said, "Oh, nice. You can have it after the show is over tonight when you go home. You are not carrying a gun on my ride." So many things I could talk about there, but that was another interesting one. All right. Any other comments or check-ins for this evening's AREG net? Please come now. All right, it's 9:44 p.m. Low count on the check-ins tonight, but that's okay. We'll start the 7-3 round now, and of course we'll go up to Rick, downtown Rick, VA3 AXJ. You still awake there, Rick?
Yeah, we're hanging in here, Chuck. Yeah, we're just looked over to CNN there to see what's going on with the funny farm. You know, that is crazy. The elections over there, they're just stupid. Anyhow, yeah, good night. I'll be here till the duration. Other than that, not much more to say. Got to take my truck into the garage again. I just discovered a small leak right by the rad. It's that friggin' steel line that goes from your rad to your overflow. Yeah, it's just dripping, so get at it before it breaks.
Yes, absolutely. And I saw a guy that was at a car show, and he had a rad there, and he had bent fins, and he showed how you can straighten it out. He basically used a very stiff brush and ran it in between the fins there, and it straightened out the fins. It was pretty neat, pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the steel line or if it's just a rubber line, but I would imagine if it's coming from the rad, yeah, it's probably got to be a steel line that, and it has to be a new line. And it has to be bent, to the specs, I guess, to get into the other part. But anyhow, it is what it is. You own a vehicle, you got to look after it.
Oh yeah, don't I know it? On our way back from Barrie, I noticed the transmission was slipping, and so it was low on tranny fluid. When we got back here, we took care of that. So, anyways, Rick, thanks for checking in and listening along, my friend. I do appreciate it, sir. All right. What do we have? We got Vinny checking in. KB1 Juliet Delta X-ray. Thanks for checking in, Vinny. Listening on VoIP, I guess, over phone. Where is Vince? Where are you, Vince? In Connecticut, it looks like here. Well, thank you for joining us, Vince. Hope you enjoyed yourself. We also have, who else there? A couple of other gentlemen that don't have call signs. We've got Steve's friend, doesn't have a call sign yet. We got Shane looking to get a call sign, and others. So good luck with testing. Justin also taking the test on Monday. Good luck, Justin. All right, so we'll see if Wade is available for 7-3 round. Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha.
VA3 CJZ, VA3 NCA, yeah, good evening again, and thanks for running it as usual. A great way to spend a Wednesday for sure. I have nothing else to say except 7-3 to all. And also, I guess, good luck to Justin. Good luck, and hope to hear you on the next AREG with the call sign. Good night all, and I'll send it back to you there, Chuck, and talk to you down the log via your NCA.
All right, very good, Wade, and also thank you for helping out on the YouTube chat for people wanting information on getting tested and so on and so forth. Much appreciate you taking that over. I do have a lot of things going on here while doing the net, so I try and check on the YouTube stream now and then. So thanks again, and thank you to everybody who checked in on YouTube who couldn't make it in on the radio. I hope you all enjoyed the net. Usually we have almost double the amount of check-ins that we had tonight, but that's okay. People are probably tuckered out from it being so hot and humid. It's about 80 degrees outside still, And so, yeah, they're probably sitting in front of the air conditioner. All right, Wade, thank you again. Next, let's go to Mac. Victor Alpha 3, Indy Mike Whiskey.
As usual, Chuck, you've done a bang-up job. It's a good way to spend hump day. 7-3s to yourself and everybody else, and I'll probably be QSY to the ZOE repeater where I'll hang out and sandy bag until the pumpkin hour. 7-3s, one all.
All right, Mac. Thank you so much for helping out as you always do, and listening along and correcting me when I'm wrong. We all need somebody to do that once in a while. And so let's see if Jason is still around. Victor Echo 3, Zulu Juliet Charlie. All right, let's check with Albert. Victor Alpha 3, Bravo Tango.
Yep, still here listening along. Good job there, as usual, Chuck. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for being there. 7-3 to everyone out there. VA3VT.
Okay, Albert. Thanks for listening along, my friend. Always appreciate it, you checking in. Have a great rest of the week, my friend. 2 more sleeps before the weekend. And it's a long weekend coming up, too. So fireworks this weekend for sure. The August 1st civic holiday coming up. By the way, Albert, are you going away?
All right, we'll send it back over to you so you can wrap it up. 7-3.
Hey, Albert, before you go, are you going anywhere?
No, I don't usually like camping and stuff. I try to avoid the long weekends. Too many weekend warriors.
Oh, yes, I know. We usually go on a Monday after, like the Tuesday or Monday after the long holiday, like Canada Day and that. We usually go during the week when things slow down. If you want a little bit of peace and quiet camping, yeah, don't go on a long weekend. That's good advice there.
Yeah, like I said, I usually avoid the long weekends. We make our own long weekends and avoid all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Albert, have a good one, buddy. Maybe we'll talk to you between now and then. All right, I'd like to say thanks to Kevin VE3KKP. Are you within listening range yet, or no? All right, I guess not. VE3KKP, thanks for the check-in, as well as Wayne B. That's Victor Alpha 3, Fox Mike Bravo in Mississauga. Thanks, Wayne. Let's see now if George is there. VE3 Golf Bravo Delta.
Yes, sir. Still here. Just in between camps. Just taking out the blue boxes, rounded up garbage. Still here, though.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, hopefully Brenda is starting to feel better from her surgery, and I'm sure with the humidity going down this weekend, it should help out. Except in the future, she'll be able to tell when it rains because her knee will be bothering her. I know mine does. That's how I can tell when it's going to rain. Anyways, George, thanks a bunch for sticking around. Much appreciated, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too. And yeah, 7-3s to everybody on net. It was a great net, even though you didn't get as much. But you know what? Still a great net.
Absolutely. The show must go on, as they say. All right, George, have a good one, buddy. Next, I'd like to say thanks to Jeff, the Sushi Samurai, Victor Echo 3 November, Victor Yankee. Thanks for sticking around and checking into our net on YouTube there, Jeff. Much appreciated. And of course, we had Samuel, Alpha Delta 2, India Bravo / VE3, coming through from the States. It was very nice to get a check in like that. And as well as Vince, KB1JDX, and Mark, Steve's friend, and Shane, and I don't know who else I missed, but thank you all so much for joining us. We're here every Wednesday, starting at 8 p.m. local time here in Hamilton, Ontario, going until around 10 o'clock. And so the last person on my list here is Victor Echo 3, Lima Bravo, India. Larry.
Still listening along. Thanks for doing it, Chuck. And it doesn't matter about the quantity; it's the quality you put into it.
Absolutely, you're right. It's not the quantity; it's the quality, and we sure have that here. Thank you all so much. Let's see if there are any last-minute check-ins for this week's AREG net. We're only 6 weeks away from the 31-year anniversary. September 18th, that net will be the 31-year anniversary. I hope to hear you all check in then, September 18th. And so with that, are there any last-minute check-ins for this week's AREG net? Please come now. All right, well, nothing heard. I'd like to say thank you once again to everybody who checked in and helped me spend some time here, a couple of hours on a Wednesday night. It's always a lot of fun for me. Even though I didn't have my normal radio, which is hands-free, I've had to make do and adapt with a handheld microphone all over again. But we made it. We made it through. And so with that, it's time to wrap it up and say thanks again. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, saying 7-3, and have a great rest of the week and a long weekend coming up. I'll now return the frequency back to non-net status. Thanks. So long.